Welcome to today's edition of HM Car Reviews. Today we had the Nissan Juke, Nissan's small SUV coupe thing. And I say coupe thing because these are actually rear doors, believe it or not. I've taken it on pretty extensive long test drives, so I've driven it on all kinds of different roads now, so I have quite a bit of knowledge about it. We took it to the Lake District. They kind of bill it as being like a small lifestyle SUV thing, and what lifestyle I'm not entirely sure, but we'll go around and have a look, see what it is actually like. Now the Nissan Juke is ridiculously popular when it's sold. There's thousands of them on the road, millions of them. In fact, there's probably billions or 10 trillion Nissan Jukes on the road. There's just so many of them. And the styling is so polarizing. Some people absolutely love it because it's like youthful and funky, and others absolutely hate it. And yeah, there's things that are a little bit strange about it. I think maybe the body shape is sort of, I don't know. So I'm pretty much on the fence about it. I think it would be better if it was lowered down. It doesn't really work so much for an SUV. But with that said, they just can't stop selling them. They've been selling it for 10 years and they haven't changed it one bit. Okay, yeah, it's been facelifted a little bit. The kit's maybe been slightly improved, but it's been on sale for a really long amount of time with very minimal changes. I'm sure they've got a second generation in the pipeline, but the amount that they sell them, I can't see this happening well, sometime soon. But we'll continue having a look around anyway. So what kind of lifestyle did Nissan kind of build this car for? Your urban professionals who like to go hiking and to the beach and go surfing and whatnot. But is it really for that? I'm not so convinced. I mean, look at the size of the boot. It's pretty small. Yeah, you can take this thing out to give you a little bit more space, but it's more really for your runabout around town. Maybe if you got a couple of kids, drop them off to school or something like that. Being high up is supposedly more safer. I'm not convinced. I mean, it's an okay car. Of course it's an okay car. So many people bought it, that probably means it's fantastic. But it's not for me, and it's not for everybody's tastes. But it does come with alloy wheels and quite a lot of decent kit. It has got a backup screen, infotainment system as well, and it does come with cruise control. So there's a lot of kit on it. It doesn't cost too much money to buy either. But that might be why it is so popular. You've got the style of an SUV, over other road users with a decent amount of kit. I think that's really why people buy it, for the lifestyle suggestions that Nissan offer. Not at all, I just don't really see it being the case. So the particular Juke that we have today is the Bose Personal Juke, which just basically means it's got Bose speakers, and he even got speakers in the headrests, which is quite unusual. You don't really see that in most cars at all. So I'm going to get into the front and I'm going to see a little bit what it's like. I mean, despite it kind of looking big out back, outside it's pretty small and pretty cramped in here. There are one thing that's a little bit unusual, is the placement to open the fuel filler cap is down there. That's where they've decided to put it. Most cars you just tap it and it opens up there as well, and you've got, well, you can fiddle about with the windows as well. They're all electric windows. Your mirror placement's all down here if you really wanted to play with it. It's okay in here. I mean, the materials feel quite nice, and it's quite airy. It's not the best car to drive. I mean, it's okay around town, but on the journey that we did, the best we did was 43 miles to the gallon on average, and a lot of that was spent on the motorways. Okay, yeah, we also went on very slow roads as well, but 43 miles per gallon is not particularly great, but it is a petrol. There is of course a diesel with a 6-speed manual, which is a lot better in terms of fuel economy. We'll have a look around the rest of the cabin anyway and continue on from there. So I'm going to sit in the back and see what it's actually like in there. We'll open up the door. It's a bit of a hidden door. So we'll get back in. I actually really like the seats. They're not leather, but they're that comfortable fabric material. It's okay. You got your mirror. You've got light. It's okay actually. I mean, it's not the biggest spacious car, but for small families it's absolutely perfect. Other than that fuel economy and the petrol one, but that might be just the car that I drove, and maybe I don't drive particularly economically. That might be why, but the diesels, you're definitely getting a much better fuel economy. There's not really a lot to say back here other than it's comfortable and spacious enough, I suppose. It's not huge. That sloping roof does cut into the headroom a little bit. So we'll get out of here now and have a look at elsewhere of the vehicle. I do like the two-tone paintwork, particularly with the black mirrors. I think that looks pretty cool. You can get other colours, you can get pinstripes and the whole lot if you really wanted to personalise it in a way. Or you can even get coloured roofs, but if I were me, if I was buying it, I would stick with one colour on the bodywork and maybe change the mirrors to this black. I think it looks pretty cool in this black. They do a Nismo version as well, which has a bit more power, but really in a car like this you probably want it more for the fuel economy, and stick with a diesel in that case. Don't get a petrol like I'm driving here. Whilst I went over the infotainment system in the Qashqai video that I did, it's not the nicest looking system, but it's pretty intuitive to use, and it's all touchscreen, and that's okay. But a bit that's really quite sort of unique to the Juke is this bit down here, the climate control. There, it's on climate control. You click on D mode or driver's mode. For some reason we've got a G-force meter, which I'm not really quite sure why you need it in this car. But you might want to know how many miles you've done and your average fuel economy, and put it into sport, normal, eco. But in sport, which is one thing that's really quite a little bit weird, I suppose, is if I were to rev the engine, it tells you how much power you're using, which is always lovely, I suppose. Not that it's particularly needed in a car like this, but that's one thing that they do. And then down here it sort of judges how economical you are if you have an eco mode, which you may want to do that really. And what we got in normal, showing us how much torque we're using. And one thing that's really quite good is how much battery left we got. So that's something they thought about that's quite good. Well, we'll put it back into the climb mode and leave it on eco. We'll take it on a drive and see what it is actually like. Now, I already did speak about the fuel economy of it. I've driven to the Lake District and back, and it's like 500-600 miles. We only did 42.9 miles to Callan, which is not ideal really for a car like this. You want it to do better, you want it to do closer to 60, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately. In terms of the actual driving experience, long distance on the motorway, it was pretty comfortable. It did that pretty well. I think a diesel would have been better for that, because you get the benefit of that extra fuel economy, which is, I suppose, what you actually want. Or in this lifestyle, or like go to the beach or whatever. Beaches are far for a lot of people. You want decent fuel economy. And also, we took it down some back roads, and it handled pretty well. It took there's lots of decent drivers roads down in the Lake District, and yeah, it zoomed in and out and was absolutely fine. I mean, it's not entirely down for that. It's not really what it's for. It's for, well, I suppose, driving around town and on motorways and around town. I don't know, the fuel economy wasn't great. That could be better. That should be a lot better. Maybe it's the awkward shape of the vehicle just creates drag or something like that. Yeah, maybe when they eventually go around to doing the next generation of Juke, they'll fix that. Till now, it is what it is. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of its rivals. You have the Renault Captur, which is a video I've already done, and it's exactly, well, it's built on the same platform as this. So it's a direct rival and features some of the same engines and same technology. The Dacia Duster is also built on the same platform as well, but in terms of other rivals, you've got the Peugeot 3008, the Ford EcoSport, and a couple of others. They're very, very similar cars all in all, so I can't really give a recommendation of which one is better overall. But when we finally get to reviewing those other ones, I can do that. So that completes my review of the Nissan Juke, and we've gone over some points as to why it's so popular. Now, if you like that content, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. It means a great deal to me, and it helps me out and helps me grow the channel and get more videos and more cars into review in the future.